Hello, everybody. It's Austin Ward from Lettermen Row, joined by a couple Ohio State Lettermen who know a thing or two about playing wide receiver and catching passes. Jake Stoneburner on my left here, and then Evan Spencer down there on the far left. You're right. It's been an interesting week for that unit known as Zone 6 guys. Monday night, Zach Smith was fired, and his replacement now officially confirmed. Guy who's already started in that position throughout the week, Brian Hartline. And Jake, you have some interesting insight here with this guy who actually played together with the Miami Dolphins for a year. What do you think about Brian Hartline now? Did you ever envision that he might be coaching the Buckeyes?
No. I thought he'd be playing NFL for a long time. He was a heck of a player. Played with him in Miami, like you said, and coaching really maybe wasn't in his forefront. Obviously, people can develop different feelings. But as far as someone with football knowledge and a knack of how to play the football game, you're not asking anyone better. You don't get to play 8-9 years in the NFL just by pure talent. You got to have some real knowledge of the game. And he's going to be able to translate that right to his players. They got a talented group who probably already were looking up to Brian as far as a receiver, NFL player. It's only going to hope that now they're coaching him. And I'm sure that room is very excited to have a receiver of that stature now their coach.
Evan, how far does that go with if you're sitting in that meeting room where you used to be for a lot of years and that guy standing in front of the room plays 7 years in the league? I mean, does that carry more cachet? This is nothing. There's nothing good or bad about what Zach Smith did, but just what kind of voice does that carry when you know what he's done? At that next level?
It definitely carries a different voice. I think one of the biggest aspects that the guys will be able to benefit from is, once you get to the league, and I can personally talk from personal experience. There's so much that develops from the game within the game, right? You learn so much while you're in college, and then once you get to the league where, the margin for error between different guys is so fine, those intricate things that you get the chance to realize, and some guys, fall out of the league quickly, and some guys play for 8 or 9 years like Hartline did. So I think that knowledge is going to prove really well for the guys here at Ohio State, and on top of the fact that they look up to him already, and as I'm sure they did the entire coaching staff. So I mean, it's sad to see what we saw have happen, and wish everybody the best, but at the end of the day, it's all about focusing up on, hey, we got camp, we're going to have 7-on-7 before you know it, and at the end of the day, we got to throw and catch the football, and we got to move the ball up and down the field, and at the end of the day, that's all that's going to matter.
And I think you guys both know that it's not just about coaching wide receivers. If you're in that position at Ohio State, people want to know, can Brian Hartline recruit? Will Brian Hartline recruit? I think I know the answer, but do either of you guys have any concern with that as he gets into this for the first time?
No, not at all. Me and Evan were there when Coach Vrabel came on. Same type of thing. I mean, obviously, Coach Vrabel won Super Bowls. Yeah. Not lessening Hartline's career, but when Vrabel came on, it was like, this is awesome. This is an NFL player, established. Yeah. He was on defense. He didn't coach me. It was just an aurora about having that type of player in the building. And I think having Brian, it's just, I looked up to him when I was on the Dolphins. So I can only imagine some guys 10 years younger. You just play a little harder. You feel like, man, my coach, he knows how to play this position. Sometimes those coaches, maybe they played in high school or didn't play it at all. Those guys are going to take everything Brian says to heart because shoot, it worked for him. He did really well. He made a lot of money, made a lot of plays, set records, both Ohio State and NFL. And you're like, okay, what this guy is saying is really going to resonate with me.
Yeah. To me, Evan, it just seems like, and I don't know, that it's a matter of working hard. And clearly, if you're wanting to call recruits or if you're personable, that's just a grind. And if you played 7 years in the NFL, you're probably a pretty hard worker in the first place.
And I think it goes back to, again, just that respect that's already going to be given in the room. As he comes in and as the guys are looking up to him for knowledge and for advice, that very same nameliness and that very same, experience and respect that he carries in that room is going to be carried into the rooms of any of the recruits. I mean, if you think about it, if you're a top receiver in the country and you're on the fence where to go, again, why would you, one, not want to come to Ohio State for the pedigree, but two, be able to learn from a guy like, Brian Hartline. He left early saying, listen, guys, I know my talent and I know what I can do and I'm going to go show it. And then not only did he show it, he year after year proved that he was one of the best receivers in the league. So being able to pick his brain every day at practice, is going to be great for the guys, and it's going to be great for everybody that gets in contact with him.
He's already been around for a year in that quality control role, but now he's a full-time staff member. Brian Hartline leading the wide receivers. These two Ohio State Lettermen know so much about that with the NFL perspective and going through the Ohio State program and knowing Brian Hartline. They're Evan Spencer and Jake Stoneburner, and I'm Austin Ward for Lettermen Row.